Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this is actually day 2 of the Z1R randomizer Z1 randomizer tournament. We have Xarnax versus chessjerk, week 1 of Swiss. My name is Tracy M. With me today is Fury SK. How are you doing, Fury?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to be here. The two very old school runners. I get to also call them old because I am old, but it's Xarnax42 and chessjerk. Both have been in this scene for quite some time. Xarnax has gone to multiple different games, whereas chessjerk, I think, has been featured in certain major done quick sort of things. So both of them are known outside this community, inside this community, and they both are capable of putting up big times here. So let's see who gets there and gets that big time first.
Wow. Oh, here we go. Deadwoods start. Not the greatest start ever, but hey, bomb droppers on the second screen at least, so get something. So yeah, let's talk about the flags. A couple of new flags that didn't exist until, and a sword for chessjerk over at vanilla level 3. So yeah, Xarnax shouldn't take too long to get to that, but gonna have a slight advantage early on. But yeah, let's talk about these new flags.
Yep, so perhaps the most important one is there will be a heart in every dungeon. It can shuffle between the floor and the staircase, but there will definitely be at least one. The coast heart can make it up to 2 in a specific one, as we find Bo on that death almost, so we're really zooming in a hurry already. The other more important flag, I guess, would be the fact that 9 is not set to full Triforce count, nor is it set to something lower. It's going to be somewhere between 5 and 8.
Yep, and that's a newer flag. It used to be you could do random or a specific number, but now we can kind of choose a range of Triforces, and that's what we got here. We got the range of Triforces on the 5 to 8, and there's the sword for Xarnax, and I imagine chessjerk is going to hit the Death Armas, and we'll get that bow shortly, so we'll be pretty even.
Yep, we do have Gria and Dark Knight on the overworld, which means Moblin and Lionels are down. I didn't see if there was a secondary on the overworld, but the Tektites could roll off of it as well.
Yeah, I hate Gurias in the overworld. That is my least favorite overworld enemy. They're just so much easier to deal with in dungeons, and they just tend to snipe you on the overworld, at least when you least expect it. So, yeah, not my favorite. It is possible though, you know, if you have like rolled down red Gurias, that they could be good bomb droppers. So there is that at least.
Yeah, I think my favorite overworld is still the Wizrobe overworld. It can be painful in certain screens, but there's one place that they won't be, and that's the dungeons.
Yeah, totally agree with you on that one.
Be interested to see if somebody goes towards the coast and does the world wrap without the lyre, just to see what it is.
Yeah, I think it's a little more common if you have that start just below the grave. I know I like to do it there, but yeah, I mean, it's not a bad play at all. Get that knowledge early rather than having to go all the way to the other side of the world to get it.
Yeah, and really they're only about 20 seconds from making it to that screen, depending on if they can do the little cheat through the north side of the maze in the Deadwoods.
All right, nothing in that southwest corner. Haven't found a dungeon yet. A few other interesting flags. So one thing, we're gonna have to buy a candle. No extra candles on. The can't pay a heart for the candle anymore. Here's level 2. Actually, one of the flags that was completely not on my radar. The non-random start entry, which means we're always gonna start on the bottom. And I've been finding that seems to cause the dungeons to be very vertical or segmented in order to have those kind of, you know, because they all have to fit together on the grid. If they all have to start at the bottom, it's a little harder to fit them all in without that kind of setup.
Yeah, I much prefer being able to start pretty much in any location in the dungeon. It does allow for them to be a little bit more blocky in nature, which makes it easier to dig, but everybody has their preferences, and sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
Yep. I mean, it's a little easier to track like this, so it's, you know, there is an upside to it, but yeah, I tend to like the random start better. chessjerk's trying to get all the rupees without picking up the Triforce, and then nearly got bopped into it with the BMOS.
We'll see if he goes for the Kanana office. Doesn't look like he's going to worry too much about that key just yet. And that will come back to haunt him just a little bit with the shoot, but maybe it'll have something in it.
Yeah, it's a pretty tight play. Yeah, I only know a few runners that are really good at it. I am not. I've tried it several times. But yeah, once you bomb that wall, you don't have the option to try it again.
Yep, Xarnax42 not too far behind. Basically, was about 45 seconds behind into this dungeon, which is nothing in the grand scheme of things.
Alright, but we may be key blocked out of here unless we can, after we bomb up here, get a key somewhere. Or maybe the item's just here.
Tick-tights are in the dungeon, so I'm going to guess it was, what, Stalfos perhaps, or ropes on the overworld?
No, this is not going to drop, so we're not going to be able to open that door.
That rupee boss is a little ways in, however, it will respawn, so if the seed goes really south with the money and the keys, then at some point they could opt into just going that route and farming that rupee boss over and over again.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Did chessjerk not clear this room? Oh, I guess not, because there's a fiver on the floor, but you know, that's not going to help him with that key door. I'm not sure what else he has in mind. Okay. No, you had to have cleared this room. I'm not sure what else chessjerk has in mind in this dungeon.
He's going to go up, and I'm assuming didn't grab the Triforce the first time around.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I think you're right. It's a good call.
I mean, it's really close to start, so even if you don't grab the Triforce, it's not the end of the world. I think now, though, I'm a little bit more confused, perhaps.
Oh, he reminding himself that was a key door that was blocking him. Yeah, with that chute there, that key door is hard required to get to any items. Ooh, 39 for the mid-secret. That's going to be really good for money to seed.
Yep, with both runners around 90, I think maybe if we've already got a key shop somewhere, you think about it.
Yeah, it's a tough call when you don't have your candle yet. On the other hand, it's not unusual in these flags to have a candleless seed if you get especially if you get a 5 Triforce 9 entry. But at the moment, we're gonna probably the northeast is usually a good place to head when you don't have that candle to get to those caves, and it's a bunch of open caves up there, and there has to be at least one candle available in a shop blocked by no more than a bomb. So it can be the rare shop, but if that's the case, then it's going to be behind a bomb hole or an open cave.
Yeah. Yep. So again, both runners pretty much going screen for screen in a lot of ways. I mean, they're not like literally screen for screen, but they're pretty much going the same route.
Yep.
At the end. I think Xarnax will have a little bit of a lead maybe out of this if the 2 item is required. Otherwise, CJ doesn't have to go back and go get the try, so it could play either way. There's really nothing much to speak of with lead so far.
Alright, but yeah, we do get a little divergence. Xarnax going to head over to the grave area and see what's over there, and chessjerk is going to head over to the desert open cave and probably head to that northeast corner. 15 rupee bombs is not great, but not bad either. It's below average, below normal, so that's good. It is not, however, low enough that you just spend your money on bombs every single time you see it.
Ooh, 119 and a 119 key. That's not the key you want.
Nope.
Oh, hello.
Oh, 6 heart ladder.
Well, that's still good information. I
Yep.
mean, we're probably going to find a heart container on the overworld at some point here.
In some sense, that might be good for chessjerk, because by the time he gets there, there's a better chance he'll have the 6th heart. Xarnax, knowing that it's there, will prioritize it perhaps a little bit more. And of course, as you see, we do have the mixed quest first overworld, so all those locations that exist in either first or second quest are going to have about a 1/3 chance of opening.
Yeah, this is going to be a difficult screen for Xarnax to get into and then out of again, so it may... Oop, never mind. Hand is forced.
Yeah, I mean, I like doing the gray first, and then that way you can just up A out of the vanilla level 6 spot, but he didn't make it there, so that's going to be a loose square for him for a while. The good news is he's going to have to get back there at some point, because that ladder, even if it's not hard required, you're going to want to pick it up.
Yeah, I have to think Xarnax42 is probably going to get 8 bombs at some point, and once he hits that number and he's kind of exhausted some of his options, probably going to make the Death Mountain play and route that in. But my guess is Xarnax42 is probably going to look for the heart container first and maybe a free cave in the northeast.
Ghost Dime is just a boomerang, magical boomerang, so I don't think we're going to see it picked up unless there's a reason to do a screen wrap, and then unless you're Fred trying to avoid it like he did in last year's tournament, you're just going to pick it up.
Yeah, I think Xarnax42's probably got the better chance to world wrap into it, just because the checks haven't been done to the open caves there. The only other chance I see is maybe if we pick up a raft at some point based on the start screen and you just don't want to bother going around it.
There's that expensive shop again. Nothing we want there.
Could be wrong, but I think Xarnax is also one of the players that has gone around the boomerang. Can't remember if it was him or Zardia that I remember doing that on the coast, or at least it was an item they didn't want. I don't remember if it was a boomerang, but I've seen it before. Perhaps to troll him, I would say it was the big shield, but we all know better. Xarnax42 loves that thing.
Yeah, we know Xarnax being one of the big shield aficionados. I don't think he's going to buy the 168 one that's sitting here, but wouldn't surprise me if he grabs the cheap one when it shows up.
I think he might, but probably going to go Candle before...
Yeah, totally agree. Candle, arrows, get those hard required things first, and then you can get those other items. Or I should say more likely hard required things, because, ooh, that's not a good place for Chessjerk to take a death.
Yeah, I think we're 1-to-1 as far as deaths in inconvenient spots.
On the other hand, it looks like that's going to send Chessjerk to the grave, so he's going to get that ladder, most likely.
That would depend on whether or not he goes into level 6's cave, because if he tries to go in there and then leave, I'm not sure that's going to let him.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough screen to get through, and no candle to candle boost out to help you out. Yeah, those dark notes do 2 hearts of damage.
Yeah, I mean, we do have 8 bombs, and bombs will knock them back, so you can get out of there if you're willing to waste some resources, but might be stubborn as well.
Xarnax been living on a heart for a while, around a lot of things that do a heart of damage, so... And there's up the ladder.
And Chessjerk also has exactly 2 hearts left, so...
Yeah, that's not ideal.
Yeah, I thought he might...
Get another one?
Yeah, I thought he might go for a quick kill there, but nothing's working out.
Oh, he almost had a window, and then the blue dark nut changed its mind.
Yeah, now you gotta do something a little bit different to get their pattern to change.
Oh, yeah. He got by the first one, and the second one decided, you know what, I want to join my friends up here. Like he's going to go back to that. Xarnax will get his 6 hearts, so he can go back and get that ladder anytime he wants.
Yeah, I think I'm going to spend a few bombs up here to check some caves, and then get the bomb refill at one of the 15 rupee shops, and then probably head to Death Mountain and get the ladder on the way.
Yeah, totally makes sense. Yeah, I feel like the way these flags work out, the Death Mountain play is often a little bit earlier, just because with a late candle, that may be the only place you can go.
Yeah, I think it's definitely more viable than a standard tournament with the take any ones providing you a freebie candle.
Alright, Chester's gonna find his ladder.
Well, we're set up for the early gamble, the silvers being the major item outstanding right now. We'll see if a runner takes a gamble if the Triforce count to Enter 9 is low, which we still don't know.
I mean, have we seen? We've seen 2. That's our dungeon so far. So we have. I mean, the next dungeon we find might be level 9. We might find out what our entry is, but yeah, we don't know yet. And Chester's gonna take these 7 bombs and start bombing Death Mountain. There's a hint shop. Not conveniently located to start, but we'll mark that down. This is a book to understand old men, so we could pay for them, and they just won't tell us anything. Ah, there's a level. Not what you're hoping to find, but level 6. Hello.
Yeah, definitely digging. Well, maybe not after that screen, but I would say you definitely dig just to try and get some keys, if nothing else.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
No, we're not going to be doing that yet. We're going to have to come back with a ladder. Because I think we're probably not going to go through the blue wizard screen anytime soon.
That's a tough room.
I mean, it's doable, but you don't really want to do it. And 3 is a much better play.
Yep. And immediate stare, it is segmented.
Let's see if it sends us off. Yeah, it's sending us to the top of the dungeon with room, so kind of gives you the feeling that the bottom segment's not going to be particularly large.
Yeah, Xarnax can't take a hit from these landmo, but is the slow kind. Nicely done.
Ooh.
More Wizrobes. Okay, so the Wizrobes Gurias are together in the dungeons.
Well, those are Lionels, but yeah, they're still as deadly.
Oh, okay. Right, yeah, you know what, because I don't get to see... We don't see the Lionel sprite very often, so yeah. You're right.
I almost got confused, and then I saw the sword beam, like, oh, that's a mean thing.
I mean, I was confused, so... But yeah, it's a...
So the key is required to get to the Triforce. That's the only way that we can know for sure.
Oof. Yeah, it's just a rough set of screens for Xarnax there.
CJ's keeping the bombs up, finds magical sword on, so far, a kind of useless Western Death Mountain, so I'm fairly certain we won't be going up there for that unless we really get hearts and we don't find any other combat upgrade.
Yeah, unfortunately for chessjerk, this Death Mountain dive not paying out at all. Except for some money. I mean, if he does find that candle shop, we can buy arrows as well. We do have the eastern portion, which he'll head to next.
Yeah, I can totally see this play because CJ had a lot of right side of Hyrule cleared as far as non-candle spots. It just happened to die before 2 dungeons, so you kind of assume that they have to be on Death Mountain, but we're finding them heavy in the Lost Hills, as one is also up there.
There's a nicer enemy set with moblins and Vyres. There's a floor heart in level 1.
Yep, we won't know if it's Coast Heart until we see another one. I think CJ just 10-counted his second bomb on Death Mountain, so we'll have enough to clear the remainder of it.
Yeah, the one bad part about this is you leave those 3 locations unchecked. You have the 2 power bracelet spots and the recorder spot. None of them are guaranteed to open. You hate to have to come back for them. Haha, there's your arrows and your candle. If that's the rare shop, it might be a while before Xarnax gets to that.
And he's going to want all 3 items from the shop.
Probably, yeah.
77 for the big shield, the smallest of the 3 prices. That's pretty cheap. And then, obviously, arrows and candle. But yeah, if that's the rare shop, that's actually a fairly decent advantage for CJ, I would say.
And yeah, and of course, 1 living up to its reputation with all its key doors, and unfortunately, that one is just gonna troll Xarnax, and that'll be a hint later. But you don't really see a lot of situation where runners go back in to grab those hints after they get the book. It is something I've thought about doing, but you know, I just never pull that trigger. And we find level 8 up here.
Yeah, I don't know if I go back for it. I mean, if the book is like right here or something. Well, there's a red candle, so never mind the blue candle.
Yep, 3 red candle.
Yeah, someone in chat to burn there for calling that right before it happened.
Those arrows, though, are going to be nice for chessjerk when he gets into level 3. He might be able to get a little bit further with that enemy set. Oh gosh.
The good news for that same list.
Yeah, that same set in level 8, and when you don't know if you even need to do level 8, digging a Wizrobe Lionel infested level 8, not my idea of a good time. So yeah.
Thankfully for Xarnax42, this level 1 was pretty self-sufficient on keys, so burning one of the old man hurts a little bit, but in the end can get all the way to the Triforce and full clear all items out of it, including the boomerang, which is going to be left on the ground, and you have to come back for the Triforce.
All right.
So,
any roads for chessjerk?
Yeah, if we need a significant amount of Triforces, that's going to be one they have to go back for, otherwise maybe get around it.
So I saw 3 lower Hyrule spots and 1 the burn spot northeast of vanilla level 1, so not bad. Doesn't get you up to Death Mountain, but we kind of knew that already, because I mean, unless it's one of those block spots, you weren't going to find it there. Letter for chessjerk, always one of my favorite items. I think it is an underrated item. Lets you buy those potions.
Yep, and while Xarnax finds level 4, so we've suddenly gone from only 1 dungeon known to, what, 5 or 6 dungeons known?
Yeah, 1, 3, and 4 up in this corner. And then I guess we saw 6 up here too, in the northeast. Yep. And then also level 8 in Death Mountain. CJ's going to take that key he got from level 8 and go into level 2. I like this. Might as well see what you got here.
Especially if he saved right before this, because if it ends up being something you don't really want.
Yep.
Like, for all chessjerk knows, it could be another boomerang, because he doesn't know what we know. But could also be another heart container. It could, I suppose, be the book, perhaps, or the red candle in his case. Again, wouldn't know. Some people don't really like the book that much, so they might leave it behind.
Hints are so powerful in this flag set, though. It's hard to actually do that. There's a compass that we don't care about. It's a recorder, so you gotta pick that up.
Yep, and that will get access to the Triforce in 1 for chessjerk when they find it.
And we'll get to see, he'll get to clear all those recorder spots while he's clearing the forest, which is nice, because only the one that he left behind in Death Mountain is not on his path somewhere while he's clearing the rest of everything.
Alright.
Here's 9. Here we go.
We're going to get an all 8. We're going to get 5. What are we going to get?
6. Alright.
Alright, so a little bit of gamble in play.
The number 1 of the dungeons I've seen so far, the one I would hope to be able to skip would be level 8. Now, of course, level 8 with 2 items is often a more difficult dungeon to skip. We have potentially all the things we need except silvers, which can be in 9. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in this. And Xarnax is going to go get that ladder. Good bomb drop for Xarnax there. And Chester's going to take a stop over to get the forgotten spot over here. And while Xarnax is going to go do the Death Mountain dig that chessjerk already did. I'm a little surprised, since he got that red candle, I would want to try and take advantage of finding that and burn some of the bushes. But on the other hand, you want to get that ladder. So it's convenient. You're here up at Death Mountain. It's convenient to do these things at the same time.
Yeah, I think you would ideally like to maybe have had the full complement of bombs on the way up here, but there's still a chance that you can farm your way into them.
Yep.
I believe the only dungeon left outstanding... Well, I guess it would be down to, what, 5 and 7?
Yeah, that sounds right.
And I think we're pretty much down to, like, South Coast and some burn spots, and then Flute, Raft, and Power Bracelet spots.
And the Koreas on the overworld art, the red ones are dying to single arrow shot, so they rolled down a little bit, which is nice for getting bomb drops. There's 7. It takes care of one of our outstanding dungeons. 88 for the large seeker. A little small, but with the 39 mid, I don't think we're going to be hurting for money.
Nope, in fact, Xarnax42 maxed out with that, so we'll have the money as long as we don't hit too many door repairs to get a lot of things in the potential rare shop. We still don't know if it is or isn't.
And of course, one of the other quirks of this flag set is that the bomb upgrades are going to be in their vanilla dungeons. So there should be... The intent is to have 1 in 5 and 1 in 7. It does turn out that they can both end up in 5 or 7. Chester's going to pick up this heart in the stair. Means the item is on the floor. Could be the coast heart, but again, as you said, we don't know until we see the item.
Yeah, I suspect the bomb upgrade issue probably has something to do with the shuffling around of where the bait block is, as well as some of the leave your rooms, because those can force some specific instances where they have to double up the bomb upgrades to make it happen.
Yeah, and I know that's something that Fred is, I believe, trying to fix. I don't know when that'll happen, but if it does, I mean, it's kind of fun to see 2 bomb upgrades in the same dungeon.
Yeah, I would think it'll probably be at like a week interval to try and just make it to where everybody's playing the same week on the same.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I don't think it's a super detrimental issue. I think it's something that everybody, as long as they know it can happen, it's good.
Yep. Now, Chester's going to hope to at least get some more of those keys. There's a lot of key doors here. That one won't bomb, so that those 2 rooms to the southwest are key locked.
If it was a smaller dungeon, that'd be suspect of a staircase being there, but we already have the stair item, so I don't think it's worth the key.
I'm going to bypass the key door and take this transport.
It doesn't really get you too far past it, but good enough.
Just far enough. Oh, there's a blue ring purchase for Xarnax.
Yep, doesn't need the blue candle anymore, so that frees him up to make some other choices.
Does still need to buy arrows, though, potentially, unless he can find the silvers before he finds that shop.
Yeah, there's still Tech Tyson dungeons, as well as the Rupee Boss in 2, as we find the raft on the floor in 7, which is not as likely to contain the last dungeon, but I suppose you never know.
It certainly can happen.
But I think this is one of those seeds where you can definitely farm rooms with Tech Tights pretty quickly if you need to get something out of a shop.
Yeah, and you know, the raft, the only way that raft is even hard required is if if there was a dungeon behind it, and that dungeon happens to have the silver arrows. So the raft usage, you got to pick it up because those things can happen. But like,
Yeah.
it's kind of on life support for being useful in this seed.
To be fair, I think CJ's also missing 4 more of the dungeons outside of 5. So
Yeah, for him, it's like you have to. I mean, you have to pick. I mean, even if it's just one dungeon, you have to pick it up.
yeah, wasn't really making the case that you should. Just thinking, man, it's of all the things to find kind of deep in 7, it's probably not high on the list.
Yeah, exactly.
I think defense or offense would have been nicer, just because you're like, maybe my opponent doesn't want to dig this far, or maybe this is for me and not for them.
Now we just need to find the Triforce out of here, and hopefully, it's not too much deeper in here. Maybe we find a compass. Xarnax going to go ahead and poke back into this level 2. We'll get his recorder. Which so far hasn't led to anything other than that Triforce in 1 that we can probably bypass.
Yeah, I think it definitely will save some time for chessjerk, though, given the order he went to it. Wow, that bomb upgrade right at his cash count.
But it's a +6, so worth it.
Yep, just only have 1 arrow now.
And now none.
I can count... Well, I don't even have enough fingers to count the amount of times that runners have gone into Ganon now without enough money to actually fire the arrow.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate... I mean, it happened in a weekly the other day, so... in the Triforce Triple Play Weekly, so...
Yep, and a lot of experienced runners have done it too. It's not just people that are new to the game, it's everybody.
There we go, there's some cheaper hints, and with the recorder, you can, chessjerk can get to that spot very easily if the book decides to show up.
So where is the last dungeon that we need to see?
I mean, it's starting to look like it might be blocked somehow. I think between both runners, we've seen most of the world. Not all of it. There's still a few places left. We're just going to get our health back in level 7. I imagine chessjerk will go to the northeast. Or the coast. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Apparently we've seen the coast. I'm not sure which one of them checked it.
I know chessjerk has been to that side. I think both actually have at this point.
Okay, so we're just going to get these last 2 candle spots and a couple of recorder spots over here. I really hate it when that one doesn't burn, because you have to go all the way back up and around to get to anything. Yeah, he's not even going to go to that recorder spot, it looks like.
Well, the more likely one is the one that always goes, so that's probably what he's prioritizing with that burn bush.
Yep, there's exactly 2 recorder spots that will always open, and this is going to be one of them, where level 2 is in first quest, level 3 in second quest, and of course Recorder Lake over where vanilla level 7 is in first quest.
This is a good troll. Well, they finally let him through. I was going to say, the Dark Touch just kept walking up the stairs.
Yep.
Hey, 3 arrows now.
It's 3 arrows.
See, Xarnax42 is similar to me, does not want to chance the bombs being juked by the Dodongos, just force feed and spend the second one. And if there's 3 in the room, you get all the way up to the full now.
And we're going to get our first raft check over here in just a second.
The question really is, though, will we see a Slamu? Will he get knocked back onto the raft spot afterwards? Well, doesn't have the health anymore, so never mind.
Yeah. I might just recorder back to level 7.
I just might up A and save.
Yeah, that works too. That works too. There's the heart for Xarnax. It's not picking it up.
I mean, it's an iffy kind of decision to make there, because mags might be the first real combat upgrade you get, but it's also going to cost you a lot more refills, so I kind of get it.
We're going to get the other raft spot checked now, too.
Yep, again on 1 heart, so gotta be careful.
A little more careful than that.
You know,
Fortunately, you can just record her back there again.
with where you start, I would just go up and go ahead and just take the freebie.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, you're right there.
I would get probably /shamed for my chat, but I wouldn't care. I'd be like, hey.
So far, Xarnax going through this level 7, very similar to the route that chessjerk was taking. It is another heart, and it's chessjerk, so we know he's going to take the heart, not the potion. We have the letter. We have the letter, so potion. He already bought one, so no real reason for him to not take the heart there. More money at Recorder Lake.
Yeah, I think even if it's chessjerk, the beam will die a little bit once he sees the whiz robes in specific dungeons and potions at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I have seen him take a potion out of a take any, and I have seen him take the candle out of the take any. Oh, there's our level 5.
So Recorder's looking pretty required at this point. It's just barely still not, but it's hanging on by a thread. Because this would
Depends
have to
on what's in this level 5.
Yeah, but this would be the second dungeon where Triforce would be blocked by Flute, so you'd be down to 6.
Yep, you have the exact 6. There's the heart of level 5.
Yeah, CJ with green tunic, I think this is easy call. Xarnax now finds the raft. He will find out that it's not exactly that useful. I mean, it will give him a potion or a heart container and a little bit of money, but not much else.
And CJ not willing to use one of his keys there this early. Yeah, it makes more sense to use it here. I'm probably really feeling glad he picked up some more money because it makes that landmo a lot easier to kill using the bow than trying to use your sword. And there goes the other key. And we're blocked.
Well,
and we have these robes.
And we gotta clear this room because this could either be the Triforce or it could be like it could be the floor item. We'll retry though.
Oh, that's interesting.
Gets you back to 2 keys, so maybe he has a route around some key doors. Or might be looking to explore a different dungeon altogether.
Well, he still hasn't seen all the dungeons that are up in the northeast, so.
Yep, probably looking at a world wrap at this point, then.
That would be the quickest way over. Yeah. Oh, he's checking this spot.
Yep, Xarnax42, meanwhile, is kind of taking the same route of clearing most of level 7, which isn't that big of a shock because there are key doors in the way and both runners are trying to conserve keys.
I mean, I can't imagine he'd go back to that level 8. I would say go back, buy a key and go back to 5. Go back to, or check the cave, the stuff you haven't seen in the northeast, hope to find those dungeons that are missing. And I think that is the direction he's going from this level 7. And Xarnax will not be able to afford that Bomb of Gray, having bought that blue ring.
Yep, unsure how significant it will be. Oof, CJ barely gonna get this cave.
Okay, well, fortunately, he is going to be able to up A and get his health back. See, it looks like he doesn't want to do level 6. We know that there's a bunch of other dungeons in this area that he can do instead, so it makes sense to check and see if there's a better option. And there's level 3. We'll see if he can get further into level 3 than Xarnax did.
Yeah, Xarnax42 had very few keys to work with and didn't want to burn it after taking a death to a firing squad, if I remember correctly.
Yep, that sounds right. As we said, this is a segmented level 3. chessjerk is going to choose to check out the segment first, or the main, the front portion. Looks like it's bigger than it's bigger than I thought it was going to be. A lot of times these segments are just like 2 or 3 rooms at the start.
Yeah, I think it's
finds
gonna
out
be
the
like
bad news. It's always robes.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be like 5 or 6 rooms total down here. Then the rest is gonna be up high. I guess like 14 or so up high.
That sounds about right. We didn't see the item out of here either. And chessjerk with still with a blue potion. It wouldn't surprise me if he ends up using it in this dungeon at some point to try and keep it going.
I have a feeling this room is going to be something.
Yeah, it's like chessjerk's going to go ahead and try and kill it. We'll kill the Lionels with the arrows, and then probably we'll try and go through the door and hope to the Wizrobes respawn as something else. Oh, we'll kill the keys here first, because maybe this is a better thing. It's just a key.
Well, this got a lot easier, even if they rolled +2.
Unfortunately, those red Lionels not being health droppers. Red Lionels are usually pretty good at being health droppers, but not there. And that's just the heart, although CJ will, of course, pick it up. That means we were looking for a floor. You know, this is... From what I've seen in these flags, it's a pretty good mix of the item being in the stair and the item being on the floor. So far, we're mostly seeing item on the floor in this particular scene.
Yep, Xarnax42 back in 6, probably getting health. Might consider trying to go through the Chevy room. Nope, I'm gonna wait a bit. I think we're gonna end up in the same dungeon.
Both runners are going to not be able to spam arrows to get through this dungeon pretty nicely.
Yeah, chessjerk is already down 25.
And then there's this room.
Yeah, this room is no good.
Start using my bombs. And have that, you know, be ready to pause and get that potion out if I need it.
Alright, everything rolls up.
Alright, nicely done. Now I can switch to arrows for the last Lionel. And a clock on the last kill. Because, of course. Wait.
Triple segment hype.
Game, please. Yeah, yeah, he's not... Yeah, I don't blame him for not wanting to actually take that. A lot of times that third segment ends up being just like one room. But yeah, the triple segment.
Can we get a quad segment? This 3 is a little bit bigger than I thought it was.
Be nice to see a map.
Well, I'm sure it's under one of these rooms that nobody wants to deal with.
It looks like, yeah, this room right here. Wouldn't surprise me if CJ takes the same approach as that earlier room. Kill the Lionels, go through the door. Does Zara just leave with the Triforce?
Yep. 6 Triforces. 6 Triforces. It will.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him whatsoever.
It will push somebody to gamble.
White sword. That's a nice pickup. It's not required, but I will be much happier going through these Wizrobe dungeons with the white sword. We'll see if CJ can just go straight up to get to that Triforce, or if he has to go back and open that one key door. Well, if he goes straight up, he still has to spend a key.
2 keys, as we saw from the Xarnax42 side, the next door, also key.
Ah, great.
Kill it for the map. Nope. I think he was killing it for the map and or a key.
Alright, Alright, he's got 5 keys, Xarnax at 3. We're not as bad off as we were earlier.
Someone's going to be curious at some point and fire up their seed and see what that level 3's map was.
And of course, with Book not being an atlas, which, you know, as a player, it's kind of whatever. But as a commentator, I like to see the maps. It makes it easier for me to follow the runners in the dungeon and highways ropes. So it's a little sad that we aren't gonna get quite as many of the maps in this tournament, but it makes sense to not, you know, let the book be the understand old man. And maybe there's a map of 6 here. Nope. Oh, wait, no, we got a key, though. And Xarnax finally finds his arrows. It is looking more and more like that is the rare shop.
Yeah, probably bemoaning the fact that doesn't have enough money for both the items he wanted in that cave. And look, we get to go through that room most likely, unless you can bomb up. Or unless you get the wild bomb left at start, that'd be fun.
So you're gonna go for it. With that white sword, it's gonna be a little bit better. Still has 4 bombs to work with. Does have the potion if he needs it.
Out of bombs, so it's going to be sword, potion.
Nicely done. The problem is, anytime you die, now you're probably having to go, unless there's another way around, you're having to go through that room all over again. Xarnax is going to stay in this level 8 and see if he can find anything here.
This is starting to give that segmented vibe again.
There's a map. Oh, that's interesting. There's another heart for CJ. Another stair heart.
Yeah, this could be... We're getting to the point now where we could find a coast heart anytime. And he doesn't have any bombs, so that's the end of this dig, and I don't know that we're going to come back here with any haste, because now it's clear a bunch of rooms and hope to find that blue wizards aren't guarding the floor item. We'll save that for like 30 minutes from now when we've cleared 9 and have to come back to it.
Yeah, you're gonna go buy another punch potion, and with the blue being 33, just replacing it anytime you see a shop makes sense if you have the money. Not really much else. Other than arrows, you're not spending your money on a whole lot at this point. No bombs to check that spot over there in the... A little unfortunate. I'm trying to remember where level 4 was. I know level 1 was past the scroll, so...
I thought level 4 was bomb spot.
Yeah, I wonder if it's that bomb spot, chessjerk's not going to see it.
Yeah, I'm going to find 1 first at least.
Yeah, this is 1.
No, never mind. 4 is White Sword Cave. I'm being dumb.
Oh, okay, cool.
I had to think about it for a second, but Xarnax42 fluted to the White Sword Cave when he only got 3 and 4.
I guess I was thinking that he did 4 before 1, but I clearly was wrong.
Yeah, our tracker Califax pointing that out right after, and hey, red ring and 8.
That's a nice find for Xarnax.
So Xarnax42 will not get any of the offense because he's shunning the hearts until he finds the wand, perhaps? Or goes back to 3 looking for silvers. But Xarnax42 has the defense for a little while. Was already on good defense with Blue Ring, now has an upgrade to that even.
So again, a little bit of good news, bad news for CJ in this level 1. The good news is he's going to be able to get the Triforce because he's got the recorder. The bad news is just going to get a red candle and a boomerang out of this dungeon. So not going to help him. I mean, right now, at this point, all we need to find is those silvers and get those 6 Triforces to get into 9. And silvers could be a 9.
Say this much, if we find a book at any point and we get to 6 Triforces without silvers, my strategy would be 9 bound pretty much instantly.
Oh, for sure.
Without book, depends on what's left, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the odds are, in my opinion, the odds are we're going to have like 6 and 8 left for one runner and probably 6 and 3 for the other.
That sounds about right.
Which is why I'm kind of expecting silvers to be in 6, just because.
Now, we do have a couple of hint shops. They're not super convenient, but they can, we saw in an earlier race today how powerful those hints are. It tells us exactly where to find the silvers.
Yeah, the downside of that, though, is that one of the hint shops on top of that is also like 150 rupees, which
Yep.
neither runner's going to have with the way we're going through wood arrows.
Yep, so true.
The other one, I think, is like 65, 75-ish, so that one might be doable.
And there's a Triforce out of level 1 for chessjerk. Xarnax still working his way through this level 8.
We'll take the clock.
We love clocks. Unless we have wall masters stuck in a wall.
Yeah, Xarnax42 trying to go the direct route. Game, of course, saying no thanks.
So this level 4 should be chessjerk's last level. Xarnax, I think, is missing only level 5.
And Xarnax paused for about half a second and is going to go Triforce direction.
Oh, I think I just grabbed that and get out.
Will he get punished by blue wizrobes? Not yet. We're
Not
red
blue
Linus
wizard,
first.
but yeah.
Oof. This is scary.
Oh my god, even with red ring, you're on half a heart. This is half a heart with Beamos and Lionel's is not ideal.
Yeah.
Ugh. I would be inclined to just take that Triforce. I was about to say that could be the item for chessjerk. It is not.
The more problematic part of that equation for me was we had a... oh, this is the map room. Let's see what the map is. Come on, see the map?
We're not gonna do it.
Or maybe we've already been in that room. It was just a way around. I don't know.
I mean, it could have. I mean, it could have been another item, and maybe you already picked it up.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Anyways, it's what makes that room even more problematic is that there were shutters on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
So when they have shutters, unless it's like an item staircase, a lot of times it's going to be a shutter on the other side. Not always, but it seems to happen more often. I think it's influenced Xarnax42's decision to dig, though. I have a feeling that he might have been inclined to just check the rooms right around the Triforce and go. And now has decided to kind of forego going towards the Triforce, so might be pushing a different direction looking for items still.
I mean, if you find silvers in here, then I don't think chessjerk's ever getting deep into this dungeon, so... he's gonna get the Triforce out of 4, probably get the item out of 4, since there's nothing that's gonna be blocking him, and like 8's the last, well, I mean, maybe 6 is the last place you want to go back to, but like 8's definitely not up there on your high priority list. Definitely helps to have the ladder in that room. The game doesn't require you to have the ladder, but it does stop you from having to take that force damage in the pointless mode.
Heart on the floor. So it's just staircase item now.
Yeah, if I were to guess, once chessjerk gets this Triforce out of 4, and probably the item as well, I would guess he'd go do 5.
I've been wrong too many times, I'm not going to guess.
Fair enough. Another dungeon. Both these dungeons were not fine. Oh, we're gonna go right back into this career room. Okay. We're a little healthier, though, this time. We should be able to get through it.
I think trying to get up to where there were some rooms north of this that Xarnax42 had open doorways for and then didn't go into. Like, if he goes all the way up here, there's 2 at the top of this. I know this 8's bigger than this, so it's not guaranteed to be up here. And we may not have even cleared this room.
Here's the map to level 4. Triforce is in the... I didn't realize the Triforce was in that first segment. And there's the stair. It's the heart again. Oh wow, that is a chunk.
Still not convinced we cleared this room. Nope, he's ignoring it for now, so perhaps Xarnax42 already knows its results.
Yep, here we go. Oh wait, that was the red ring.
You're getting a little bit turned around. I think the staircase that he took over here is above him. And then there's a room above that could technically have something. I don't remember where the staircase he took to get up there. I'm wondering if it would have been easier than this. Hard to say. Still keeping an eye on CJ, who has a room up here to check, maybe for the floor. I'm pretty sure we were spit out in this room, so this is the transport. And this is not it.
It's like he's cleared the entire upper section, but now he knows where to go in the lower section to get to the Triforce, and probably gets the floor item on the way. You know, who thinks that we're gonna need to bomb up in this room?
I was waiting for the trap to end his dig momentarily. Send him back to start. Double heart.
Double heart. It's a shame because he's at 80% for a max pickup, and that magic sword is just in a terrible, terrible location. I just don't see going back for it.
With where we are now, I think this is about the only time you do it.
Yeah.
And you're still playing a little bit of chance because it's not guaranteed with a white sword in hand.
All true. He is recording somewhere. And there's the Triforce Xarnax. Looks like he's going to give up on trying to get that second item.
No, I think it's in the front
going
part.
Right back in.
I feel like you have to go right in this front bit, and that's where
there's that bomb hole.
Well, the way this is playing out, if the silvers are in this little 8 on the right side, I think it's a pretty significant lead for Xarnax42. I don't see chessjerk going here before 9.
Oh.
If the silvers are in 5, it's the opposite. I think chessjerk is miles ahead at that point.
Yeah, not only... I mean, Xarnax doesn't even know where 5 is, and he has no reason to look for it.
And then if it's in 6, I have no idea who's in the lead.
Yeah, exactly. And if it's a 9, they're probably both going there anyway, so kind of same thing.
Yeah, it's a slight lead for CJ.
Advantage. Yep.
I think at that point, but not much. Here's the heart he had to reset out of.
There's the 100%. Yeah, 100% magic sword now. Except it's, again, in a very bad location.
Alright, so what has Xarnax42 not seen? I still think it's that one room way up there. I'm not convinced he cleared it.
That's rough. Even with 8 keys, still not going to spend the key for that door. Again, I think that's fine. I mean, if it turns out to be the item, he'll probably check it there, or, you know, could find out the
hey.
the Triforce is there. And yeah, the bait block, which we didn't really comment on the first time we went through it, but that's going to be not needed.
I don't think I even realized it was the bait block until the second time through. It just skipped my mind. I was so worried about the keys.
Good fairy on that Wizrobe there. And a good bomb drop there too.
So basically in this scene, I think outside of level 8 and level 1, the... Ooh, silvers.
Oh, that's really good for chessjerk, and that's really bad for Xarnax.
Yeah, I think outside level 1 and 8, we basically had all the items rotate to the floor.
Yeah. It feels like all the... Yeah, in a large number of them were definitely in the stair.
But yeah, that's not game over yet, but that's a significant lead now for chessjerk.
Yeah, I don't see Xarnax going back for... I mean, he doesn't know where 5 is. It's not even just say that he... not even just about whether he goes back for it. He doesn't even know it's there.
Yeah, now we gotta go back to the transport staircase room and get up to the top.
It's always fun. And by fun, I mean not fun.
Yeah, so we know Xarnax42 is digging this for not much payoff. Odds-on favorite would be Power Bracelet, and then everything else pretty much equal.
Yeah, I mean, the best thing you could find, honestly, is the book. You know, maybe buy those... Oh, he has no money to buy hints, but he could happen upon a hint somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, it would save him in 9, I think, the most, but... maybe there's a hint besides 9.
Gosh. Tea rooms with the red Wizrobes, very bad.
Mm-hmm. Good times. I mean, not even a tunic either. That's the other thing to point out.
Yeah.
9. If 9 is Lionel and Wizrobe, which I think this is set number 4.
Could be max of 5. So yeah, there's the Triforce room too. That'll send CJ to level 9. That might be the go pick up that magic sword impetus, but I think he's just gonna go with the white sword.
Yeah, I think he's gonna go with the white.
Plenty experience in this game.
Yeah, gonna go with the white sword until the game tells him he should go with something else. Oh, Xarnax42 is getting beaten down by the red Lionels again.
Yeah, the red ring only does so much for you when every time you're going back to start, you're still only starting on those 3 hearts. Go, level 9 for chessjerk. And you're gonna go to the left, take a bop from the fire.
Yep. Not the room you want to clear, so we'll try the other way.
And at the moment, he only has 8 bombs, so you'd have to find the bomb hole, take a transport, or get nothing in that area.
Watch this be Zelda. Be funny. Nope. So is... Oh, I was going to say, is Ganon to the right and down, or was it... Yeah, it has to be right and down. So we'll get Ganon here momentarily.
In a Chevy room. Not the worst of the water rooms to have, but, you know, you'd still mostly rather have a not water room.
Almost got fireballed into a driver on a stunned pig.
But he still has at least a blue. Maybe he has 2 potions, not sure.
Yep, just blue at the moment, but should be enough with white sword and a bunch of heart containers.
There we go, nicely done.
So Zelda's going to have to be probably Magic Staircase at this point to slow CJ down some. And that's GG already. Alrighty.
Your GG's in chat for chessjerk winning with an official race time of 1:03:44. And it looks like Xarnax put up the white flag shortly thereafter.
Yeah, that 8. He's just running him over and he's had enough.
Yeah, it was going to be a tough road for him, given that he would have had to find 5 first and then go through it and think to go through it to get the silvers. That's why one of the weird quirks about the non-8 Triforce entry is that it's not unusual to enter level 9 not knowing where all your Triforces are, or sorry, where all your dungeons are, and it's a tough call when you have you could have a really large part of the overworld left, and you just don't want to have to look for that last dungeon. You hope you find the Triforce or find the silvers in 9. And we do have chessjerk joining us. GG's. And I think
Thank
we
you
have
very much
Xarnax as well.
tonight.
GG.
GG's Xarnax.
So
What a horrible seed. I blame Jess.
I mean, that's a pretty popular thing to do.
It's almost cliche now. I don't know.
I don't.
She enjoys it too much not to blame her.
Yep.
She does. We got to stop blaming her so that she doesn't get the attention.
Exactly.
Hey, I've been literally across the table at dinner with her when she's rolled seed for TTP races, so on her phone. Although to be fair,
So
the
it's
second time
actually your
encouraged
fault.
it.
Wait a minute.
Not
Is your
this time.
influence in
Not
this?
this time.
Okay. All right.
You can
Just
blame me
checking.
for the TTP seeds that she rolled.
Okay.
Or the one.
All
The
right.
one.
I'll keep that in mind
Regardless,
for the
What
future.
are you doing?
regardless, neither one of you had to dig 6, which is a great thing. Unfortunately, for Xarnax42, your silvers were locked in a dungeon you hadn't found yet, so you had to
Nice.
you had to take the
That was-
one that. I was gonna say you had to take the one. You dug 8, which is like the lesser of the 2 evils of the ones that you probably saw. But unfortunately, still got you a little bit there.
Well, I mean,
6 and 8 both look terrible. I mean, I don't know.
They both. I mean, we didn't see that much of 6,
which-
but it was pretty bad.
where were the silvers?
On the floor in 5.
In 5.
was,
Okay.
5 was a recorder spot in the Lost Woods.
Yep.
Or the Dead Woods, whatever they are.
Specifically the south one.
Oh man.
The southernmost spot.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't check those yet. Yep. When I found the recorder, I was like, because I was in 2. 2 was the first dungeon I did, and I was key blocked, and then it took me maybe 30 minutes to get back to it and find the recorder. And as soon as
I felt good about finding a key and just immediately up and going back to 2. I need to know what this item is.
Yep.
yeah, so as soon as I found the recorder, I was like, okay, I'm behind. I'm gonna find the worst dungeon I can and hope something I need is in there. And
That's not a
I
bad
found a
plan.
nice
all my
item.
eggs in that basket, and it obviously didn't pan out. That's fine.
I mean, you had the red ring out of there, which wasn't particularly amazing for you with the blue ring, but given CJ was on green tunic, we thought maybe that would give you a little bit more ability to navigate some tough dungeons if they happen to be required, and then who knows what happens.
Right. Yeah. Red ring was not enough for 3 hearts with those whiz robes and Lionels.
Mm-hmm.
I can only imagine.
I,
I mean, if the silvers are like deep in 8 somewhere, I mean, who knows how long the seed would take?
Yeah.
That was my worst.
Yeah.
That was my worst case scenario. It's just silvers in some awful wizard.
If the silvers were
Awful
deep in 8, I probably would have found them by now.
Yeah, I didn't spend
I
longer
sure
than
hope
like
so.
a minute in 8. I was like, see you later, and I hope I don't need to come back.
I think
Yeah,
I spent
no.
about the last 30 minutes there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we
think
were speculating. We speculated that if the silvers were in 5, the chessjerk was ahead, and if they were in 8, then it would be Xarnax. And then they decided to be, or sorry, if they were in 5, then Xarnax. And if they were in 6, we were like who knows? Because 6 was looking really awful with that blue wizard room just to gain entry.
Yeah, I feel fortunate that I was in 6 with no bombs, because I wasted them all in the blue wizard room, and then I found the heart in the staircase, and I was like, oh, I can't progress. I should probably go somewhere else. And luckily, I didn't need to come back, so I was all right with that.
Very nice.
Yeah, you also had a bit of advantage, CJ, when you were able to get the triad of level 1, since you already had the recorder up there, so that helped you out. But that wouldn't have taken too long for you, Xarnax, when
No.
in a cleanup mode.
Right.
It was pretty deep. Yeah, I was very happy to see the big dogger there. But I thought that could have been a trip up.
yeah, the white sword get out of 3 because it was blocked by multiple shutters with Lionels and Wizrobes probably was also a big
Yes.
difference maker for your speed of clearance, I think.
I mean, I also had 14 hearts, so I was, and unfortunately, Mags is off in the middle of nowhere with nothing, nothing next to it. So
Yep.
I wasn't. I mean, if I had wood sword, I probably would have considered it at least.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't know how I would have gotten up there without wasting like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
That
it
would
was
have been
a long
a tough
trek.
one.
Yep.
I mean, I guess you take the any road that's near Vanilla 1 and walk. That's probably the fastest way to get there. There's literally nothing else up there. That's crazy.
I mean, the only chance you were going to go, I think, was if you went from level 4, basically, and just walk there. But there's no real reason. And similarly, I think Xarnax42, your cheapest large shield was also way up in Eastern Death Mountain in the Arrow Shop, so both of the must-haves for the respective players were way off in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
That was a terrible candle shop location.
Yeah, I believe that had to be the rare shop. It was the candle and the arrows and that cheap big shield. So.
I mean,
I was glad I had
3 candle blocked, power bracelet done things. I don't know.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, I was glad I had red candle by that point, but I couldn't justify a shield purchase at that point. There's still too many unknowns. And
I mean, I felt horrible.
In hindsight,
I felt horrible
the shield would have been huge. In hindsight, the shield would have been huge.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think I would have bought it too, given the amount of Lionels that were everywhere. But I mean, my problem was I died next to level 6. And then I didn't go back to the Northeast forever. And then I found 6, and then I found 3, and then I found 1, and then I found 4. I'm like, I could have had these dungeons like half an hour ago. I'm like clearing Death Mountain. I'm clearing everywhere else. I'm like, where are my dungeons? And they were all in the Northeast.
Yep.
So, hooray.
Yeah, I cleared sections out of every corner of the map, but didn't full clear. Like I went places like northwest Death Mountain. I didn't have enough bombs to full clear that.
You missed Mags and a big secret. That's all you missed. And there was an expensive hint shop up there, but
who knows where Book is.
I found the expensive hint shop and I found the big secret. But then in the bottom left,
Mags is 3 to the right of Vanilla Second Quest 9.
Okay. Yeah, the bottom left. I didn't ever go there after I got recording.
The same. That's the starting area.
CJ, the fact that you got the arrows before heading to that northeast corner, I think helped you out a little bit because you had some of those rooms in level 3. You did a very nice job of taking out the Lionels, and then leaving, and then taking out 2 more Lionels, and not having to deal with those blue wizrobes that got you that white sword. And
it definitely helped. It helped to mitigate the pain of dying up there and not finding those levels, but having so much more resources when I did eventually go up there. I saw all the bunnies. I'm like, okay, this is good. I probably didn't have the resource to kill this half an hour ago, so I'm okay with this.
Yeah,
but I mean, that white sword was in a terrible spot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
terrible.
I think ultimately that was probably the biggest turning point in this. Is you lost quite a bit of time early not finding dungeons, whereas if Xarnax42 could have gotten into some of those dungeons a little bit deeper with less enemies in the way, it could have turned his early game into more of a jet, and then it's probably a little bit closer as you're trying to play catch up to it. But a little bit fortunate that I guess the keys and the combat in those was a little bit rough for your sake, and unfortunately for Xarnax42 that was the case.
I think you need at least 3 keys to get to the silvers, which was pretty crazy in level 5.
Yeah, well, you didn't even retried.
I had 2, and I saw a key door. I'm like, there's a 3rd key door. I'm give me my keys back. I refuse.
Yeah, that was a good retry.
I have no idea where the any key is. No, I have no idea. I have, let's see, I have items in 9, and items in 8 and 6.
The second item in 8 or the item in 6 has to be the power bracelet. So 1, look, and any key are shuffled between 9, which was super free, and the other one.
My 9 was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rooms. So
nice.
That was a nice cool finish. So I was okay with that.
We weren't. We were rooting for Wizrobes, Lionels, and a whole bunch of magical staircases.
I'm sure. I mean, we've had watching some of the other seeds from tonight. There were a lot of early Ganons tonight, which is pretty insane.
I feel like we've heard the roar in the lobby a lot with this flag set or in the second room. I know, Fury. You always like to go into the second room, and now it's like everybody has to do it, so you're not even losing time going into that second room.
My strategy is now worthless. I mean, everybody just does it anyways.
But you're not losing time to it, so you know, those few seconds maybe might make a difference sometime.
I mean, I've lost races by 2 or 3 seconds.
Same.
I've even lost a race where we had the exact same time, but racetime.gg said, no, you're second.
Yep, it'll do that.
We had our race, Fury, where I split too early, and I actually lost by 2 seconds. But according to the timers, it was like less than 1 second or something like that. It was.
Yeah, wasn't that like
exactly 1 second?
Like the monthly.
That was a Torneo Quarto quarterfinal, as I recall.
Yep, and I got bodied immediately after, I think.
Yeah, so I was saving myself time by losing by 1 second. It was close enough that they actually went back and retimed it just to make sure. It ended up being a 2 second difference.
I've been bodied so many times I forget who got me there. It could have been like Truant.
I remember that one. Yeah, I remember that one.
Might have been Sigil. Anyways, that's not what we're here to talk about.
That's for another time.
But yeah, this is Swiss for seeding, so I mean, while it's good to be 1-0 and not as good to be 0-1, in the end, you could go on a massive winning streak or drop a few in a row, and at the end of the day, be kind of in the middle anyway. So we'll have to see if either one of you can kind of get up the ladder and into the, let's say, like the 4-2 and up to give yourself a little bit of an edge against the rest once we get to brackets.
I mean, you could just not let Jess roll your seeds, but the problem is she is preemptively blessed at least 1,000 or so seeds. So
doesn't make a difference.
She can find me tomorrow and roll my seed. I don't care.
The problem
Anyone can roll a seed. They're all terrible.
my only superstition.
She's on race time 26 hours a day.
My only superstition is if you come in and you roll the seed and it's like a pickup race, then you have to play. You can't just roll and dash. That's my only rule.
Yeah.
That's
well,
right.
I see people do that all the time, so.
At least Jess plays her own seeds sometimes.
Yep.
Just close the room and start a new one.
Yeah, ooh, I like that idea. Everyone just leaves.
You know, I keep on pushing for like certain people, like the bot back in the IRC days, the Fred bot. Like if it sees somebody, just to make the meme a reality, if it sees somebody press the command, it actually rolls from a select group of awful seeds, just so that they get what they want. That's about the only time I think we could have gotten away with it. I don't think Cynic's going to go with what I want there, so
No.
I think my chances
Someday.
are lost with time.
Yeah, I guess.
Maybe someday
That's
we'll
not
see.
his style.
Going to give a quick shout out though as we get close to wrapping up, because Califax was tracking this one, and I want to make sure we give that shout out before we get to the end
Absolutely.
of this, because you hear from the two of us all race long, but you don't see the person that's setting the middle column, getting the winners and the second place finishers into the booth by clicking the buttons behind the scenes, and setting up the top right corners, as that's a new duty where you have to get the 5 to 8 converted to whatever the Triforce count is. So got to shout out the trackers big time in this tournament because they're getting more and more stuff to do.
Yeah. Oh,
Thank you,
Trekker's
Cal.
always the MVP, so yeah. Huge
They
shout
are.
outs to Califax.
I'll
They
give
have a
shout-outs
hard
to
job.
Fury and Tracy too. I'm sure you did brilliantly. And again, GG to Xarnax. It's always a pleasure. I'm sure I will see you again soon.
Absolutely.
All right.
Shane?
Thanks, guys. No, but yeah, there's this is the last race for tonight. I count 7 races on the schedule for tomorrow. I don't know what's getting on, what will get streamed and what will not get a restream. However, the earliest race is at 6 o'clock Eastern, so keep an eye out on your SpeedGaming schedule to see what all does get picked up. It's been a fun night of racing. This tournament, we're gonna have 46 races a week, so a lot of Z1R for the next 5+ weeks, almost 6 weeks at this point. So, but yeah. Fury, always a pleasure. Thank you for joining me. I was very excited when we were paired up.
Yep, always fun. And a quick shout out to anybody in chat. If you're looking to get involved in any of this stuff, whether it be commentating, tracking, or just kind of following along, you can hit the Zelda 1 Randomizer Discord. We're always looking for more help behind the scenes to set these things up, because we're all doing it kind of volunteer style. So the more the merrier. If you feel like you want to get involved, go ahead and head that way.
Yeah, that is going to pretty much do it for us. But yeah, thank you all again. Thanks to our viewers. Thanks to SpeedGaming. And we'll see you tomorrow night for a whole bunch more Z1R.